The title of this project is Model Building on IMR Dataset Using R. The people who are involved in this project are Oishani Bormon Rai, Orpon Bag, Debolina Boshak, Poshali Sengupta, Shomayan Chakraborty, Shuchishmita Chakraborty, Shumedha Dhar, Shunendu Biswas, Orunoday Bhattacharya, and Pallab Kumar Sinha. We know that infant mortality rate is defined as the number of deaths in infants, that is children less than 1 year old, per 1000 live births. It is given by the formula IMR equals to 1000 into D naught by B, where D naught is the number of deaths among children of 0 last birthday and B is the number of live births. IMR is an important indicator of healthcare status of a region. Because of relative ease in calculations, it is also used as a measure of comparison. We aim to build a regression model on the IMR dataset. It can help identify the factors affecting it, and consequently necessary steps can be taken. It can also be useful in forecasting. We start by giving a description of the data that is used for our project. This data is obtained from the website data.gov.in. We look at the variables now. The variables are antenatal care, ANC registered women who received 3 ANC checkups, newborn children visited by doctors within 24 hours of home delivery, population density of a state, number of females per 1000 males, male literacy rate, female literacy rate, highway length per square kilometer, per capita consumption of electricity, total rail route per square kilometer, teledensity in rural area, teledensity in urban area, unemployment rate of a state, total enrollment in primary education, total enrollment in upper primary education, number of people served by each government hospital, number of sub-centers in each state, number of primary health centers in each state, number of community health centers in each state, average expenditure for a child during his stay at hospitals in rural areas, average expenditure for a child during his stay at hospitals in urban areas. Now, here is a flowchart of the steps used in building our model. First, we remove all the outliers. Then, we build a model with all the variables. Then comes the checking of the autocorrelation part. After that, we remove the multicollinearity. After that, we conduct a principal component analysis. Then, we do a stepwise regression and model validation. After that, we compare our model with the k nearest neighbor and the random forest models. And finally, comes the conclusion part. Now, our first step involves removal of outliers. Outliers are variables that are greater than Q3 plus 1.5 times interquartile range and smaller than Q1 minus 1.5 times interquartile range. We identify those points if present and replace the outliers that have much larger values with maximum of variables without outliers, and outliers that have much smaller values are replaced by the minimum of the variables without outliers. The box plot here clearly shows the presence of outliers as indicated by the circles. After removal, we get the box plot as this. Now, after building the model with all the variables, we proceed to check the presence of autocorrelation among data. This is done by using the Durbin-Watson test. Here also, the p-value is much greater than the significance level. So, we can say that there is no positive autocorrelation present. Then we move on to check if there is any multicollinearity present. We have a correlation plot of all the variables in the dataset. We can notice some strong relationships among variables that are indicated by dark red or dark blue. This graph clearly shows the variables with strong correlations between them. As we can see, sub-centers, primary health center and community health center are of the same kind. Their correlations with IMR are 0.43, 0.4 and 0.43 respectively. On the other hand, the correlation coefficient between PHC and CHC is 0.87 and that of CHC and SC is 0.89. So we can see that multicollinearity exists here, and to remove it we keep CHC. We can remove SC and PHC. Also, JAR up primary and JAR primary are highly correlated, but the first variable has a correlation coefficient of -0.45 with IMR compared to -0.15 for the later one. So we can drop JAR primary. Similarly, we can drop male literate, urban expand, newborn by the same logic. So after removing multicollinearity, the subset of variables obtained is ANC, sex ratio, female literate, highway, electric consumption, rural teledensity, urban teledensity, JAR primary, CHC, rural expand, government hospital. Here we have the correlation plot of this subset of variables. We also find out the VIF of these variables. As we can see from the result, the VIF of the variables are less than 5. So we can say that the remaining variables do not suffer from severe multicollinearity. Our next step involves principal component analysis. We are going to create a full model by regressing this final set of variables on IMR. We want to see whether more reduction of dimension is possible. Here are the results of PCA. We notice that every variable is carrying significant information here, so we cannot drop any more variables. Therefore, we accept this set of variables as our final set. We then build our model based on stepwise regression. For this, we are dividing our dataset into two parts using random sampling, namely training dataset and testing dataset, such that the ratio of the training and testing dataset is 80:20. We apply a stepwise regression on the training dataset, where the subset model with the least AIC is selected and validated on the testing dataset. This whole procedure is repeated for 1000 times with a 10-fold repeated cross-validation. Now see, here we have the results of our model. The subset model with the least value of AIC is selected as the final model and validated on the testing dataset. Thus we get the final model as, you can see the final model on your screen. We see that the infant mortality rate depends on the female literate, JAR primary, government hospital and rural expand. We see that the R squared value is 0.84 and the malus CP value is 4.325234, which is close to the number of explanatory variables. Now, regression models have several assumptions about the data. We have to check whether these assumptions hold in our model. The residuals of regression model are assumed to have a constant variance. Here we have done the test for homoscedasticity, and from the results it can be seen that the p-value is much greater than the significance level. Here we can say that homoscedasticity is followed. We also have the residuals diagnostic plots for our model. The linearity assumption can be checked by inspecting the residuals versus fitted plot. In our example, there is no pattern in the residual plot. This suggests that linearity of the data is not violated here. Outliers and high leverage points can be identified by inspecting the residuals versus leverage plot. This can help us to find the influential observations, if any. On this plot, outlying values, if any, are located at the upper right corner or at the lower right corner. From this plot, we conclude that there is no outliers and high leverage points that can influence the dataset. We need to check if our model satisfies the normality assumptions of the residuals. This is done by the Anderson-Darling test. We can see that the p-value is greater than the significance value of 0.05, where the alternative hypothesis is that the residuals are not normally distributed. Hence we say that the normality assumption is satisfied. Next, for constructing the KNN model, we divide the dataset into two parts like the previous case. We train the dataset using KNN method, varying the values of k, where k is a tuning parameter, from 1 to 3, because we have to take the square root of the number of variables and square root of 11 is 3 approximately. This whole method is repeated 1000 times with 10-fold cross-validation. The final model obtained is the 3 nearest neighborhood model. The variables in descending order with respect to variable importance to the R squared are female literate, highway, rural teledensity, rural expenditure, CHC, electricity con, urban teledensity, ANC, JAR primary, sex ratio and government hospital. Multiple R squared for this model is 0.84632111. Now we move on to constructing the random forest model. For this purpose, we divide the dataset as usual, like the previous two cases. We train the training dataset using random forest method. We vary the tuning parameter mtry from 1 to 15 and take the number of trees 1000. This procedure is repeated 1000 times with 10-fold cross-validation with searching parameter random. When mtry value is 10, we obtain the final model. The variables in descending order with respect to variable importance to the R-squared are female literate 100, rural expenditure 43, sex ratio 21, CHC 15, rural teledensity 9, electricity con 5, Jada primary 3, highway 2, government hospital 1, ANC 0.8 and urban teledensity 0. The R-squared for this model is 0.8714829. Now we come to our conclusion. Our final model obtained by stepwise regression is IMR equals to 25.0517 minus 1.25 into female literate minus 0.85 into Jada primary plus 0.026 into government hospital minus 0.14 into rural expenditure. The assumptions of linear regression of our model are satisfied. The R-square value of our model is high and pretty close to the R-square values of KNN and random forest models. The malloc CP value is also close to the number of variables. So although our model is not the best one, but since the R-square values of the three models are quite close to each other, we can say that it is a quite suitable and robust model. The future scope of this work includes forecasting the IMR data of the 2021 census. Thank you so much for your time.